Hi, I'm Sophia from Romania, and I'm here to tell you something you probably aren't aware of. Each one of you has the power to change people, even the jerk ones. But before I continue, like and subscribe because My Story Animated will give $1,000 to one lucky person who subscribes in the next 7 days. Tell your friends, your sister, brother, and mom to subscribe now. People in my little town thought that I was the cutest girl with red hair, and they completely doted on me. Everyone would notice me wherever I went and would start talking and laughing with me. Yes, I enjoyed it, but honestly, sometimes it got overwhelming. One day when I was 3, I was at my neighbor's place and her son put a paper crown on my head and offered me a horseback ride. All hail Sophia, the Queen of Romania! Just then, his jealous little demon sister came running out of nowhere and pushed me off his back. No, she's ugly. Then she squirted glue in my hair. I pushed her and was about to attack her when my mom took me away. All evening, my parents cried and I tried to comfort them. It's okay, Mom, Dad. It will grow back, prettier than before, I promise. Eventually, they just had to cut my hair, and it did grow back all lovely and thick in a few months. When I was 4, Mom started taking me to a small farm 2 hours away from our house just to have my hair washed with goat's milk. That was insane, but being around sheep and goats was fun. I refused to let them wash my hair unless I milked the goat myself. It took me 4 hours though, but I did what I enjoyed. Dad's favorite thing was to spend every evening brushing out my shiny curls as we sat around the fireplace, but I only agreed if he read me stories. One day, Dad sent my picture for a modeling job, and I got accepted. I told my parents that I was only 5 and I had a childhood I wanted to enjoy. They promised the job wouldn't affect anything, and it would make them proud and happy. So I agreed. And just like that, I started modeling for the following years. By the time I was in 9th grade, I was a pretty popular hair model for all sorts of shampoos and hair products. But I never enjoyed having makeup slapped on my face and posing in front of a camera. One day, I was determined to tell my parents that I was done. But then, Dad got off the phone with my agent, saying that there was an audition for the role of the Little Mermaid. Mom, Dad, I'm just done with all this. Please, just let me live the life I want, not the one you want. With that, I stormed off to my room. And no, I didn't go to that audition. Months later, Dad said I got an acting job offer in LA. I knew there was no use protesting, but I thought to myself that the States is the land of freedom, and the moment I would arrive there, I would be more free. And just like that, we'd flown across the world and settled in LA. It was really different from anything back home, but all I was thinking about was school. I wanted to do well so I could study law in college. As I walked down the hallway on my first day of school, suddenly someone came rushing straight at me on rollerblades. The only thing I could register was the most beautiful pair of blue eyes before we both rolled onto the floor. For a minute, we gazed into each other's eyes as my heart beat furiously. Someone slammed a locker door somewhere, and we both snapped into reality. He jumped to his feet, and I held out my hand. Oh, sorry, He smiled and took my hand to help me up. Yeah, I'm sorry too, for not pushing you harder, ketchup head. And with that, he let go, and I fell back on my butt. He just smirked and skated away. I stared at him in disbelief. What an A-class jerk! I really hoped I wouldn't have anything more to do with him. But to my horror, it turned out that he was in my class. I just knew he was going to make my life miserable. The teacher asked me to introduce myself, and I stepped in front of the class. Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia, and I'm from... Before I could even finish, the boy burst out laughing. What planet are you from? Do all the aliens there have hair like Elmo's fur? And does everyone talk like they're stupid? Brian, that's no way to talk to a girl. That's no way to talk to anyone. I've never met anyone as what you call it? Handsome, breathtaking, dreamy, as rude as you. And don't make fun of my accent. I'm proud of where I come from. Wow, now your face is as red as your hair. Do all ketchup heads get this angry? Only if they meet stupid people like you. Someone from the back called out. Geez, get a room, guys. What room? I'm new here. Can someone guide me? Oh yeah, I will. Everyone started laughing as he got up. I didn't really understand what was so funny, but the teacher was banging on the table to make everyone quiet. Brian, that's enough. You'll be staying back for detention today. Tell me something new. The teacher glared at him but decided to ignore him for the rest of the lesson. Later at lunch, I found out from all the girls that Brian was the bratty son of some rich businessman, and he was just always getting into trouble. But even the principal doesn't really say anything because his parents are big donors. I'd be a bit worried if I was you. You seem to be his next target. I'm not scared of some stupid jerk boy. Just then, Brian walked over to my table with a blonde girl and said, "Here, a new friend. She speaks like a robot, but not like a ketchup head. Maybe more like a mustard head? Listen, I have to be honest here. You guys do have a beautiful accent. See, I can be nice. How about a kiss?" I felt my temper flaring up again and rose from the bench to punch his face. But before I could attack him, he turned around to leave, and I decided to let it go. The next day, I walked into the classroom for the chemistry lesson to find no one was there. It turned out that it had been shifted to the lab, and I was 15 minutes late by the time I finally found it. "Ah, Sophia, you must be the new student. We're doing the experiment in pairs, and the only person left is Brian." Ugh, I couldn't believe I was stuck with him. Things were going smoothly enough for a while, and when Brian handed me a beaker, our fingers touched for a second, and I could swear I felt sparks. I sneaked a glance at him to see that he was also looking at me. "Is there something you want to say?" Suddenly he came a little closer, and my stomach did a few backflips. Was he going to kiss me? I was just wondering. "Why do you breathe like a dragon? I can hear your nose whistling." "Ugh!" "Well, I can hear your face joking, so I guess we are even." And with that, I stormed off to the teacher with my lab result. I was just done experimenting with this boy. For the next 2 years of high school, he kept being a jerk to me. He would call me names all the time or pull stupid pranks. I knew he was just trying to get a reaction out of me, and the best way to deal with bullies like him was to pretend he didn't exist. One day when I was in the library, holding my head over a really puzzling math question, someone suddenly pulled my notebook away. "What are you crying over, Tomato Queen? Your sappy diary?" "Dear diary, Brian is so mean to me." "Give me back my notebook. I don't have time for your nonsense." "Seems like you're as stupid as you look. You've done the question all wrong." "Oh yeah? And you're going to tell me how to do it right?" "Since you're practically begging me for help, sure. I can't say no to a damsel in distress." And with that, he just sat down and started scribbling away furiously in my notebook. A minute later, he threw the pen down. "And that's how it's done." "Give me that." "Wait, what?" "That's actually the right answer." I stared at his smug face in complete shock. "How come you're always getting such bad grades? Why do you let everyone think you're dumb?" "That's none of your business." "But Brian, wouldn't your parents be really proud to know you're so smart?" Suddenly, Brian got up from his chair, looking furious. "What do you know about my parents?" "Nothing. They wouldn't care if I was as smart as Einstein. They're too busy fighting with each other to have any time for me, so just stay out of it, and I don't think you know anything about me." And with that outburst, he stormed off. For the first time, I felt a bit sorry for him. A few days later, the teacher gave back the last math assignments of the term, and she slapped Brian's on his desk. "Brian, you're going to have to repeat the school year now. I want to give you one last chance. I'll give you another assignment, and if you do well, I'll give you a passing grade." Thanks, but no thanks. See you again next year." I tried to stop myself, but I just couldn't. "Brian, you know you can do it. I can help with it. But I don't think you even need any help. Miss, he's practically a genius. He really doesn't deserve to fail this grade." Everyone was staring at us now, and Brian looked livid. "No, I'm not. Who do you think you are, ketchup head, my guardian angel?" "I just don't want you to be left behind, dude." "Why do you care? I don't want a second chance. Stop acting like Mother Teresa." And with that, he stormed out of the room. What a stubborn idiot. When I went home that day, I had some shocking news waiting for me. Dad was really unwell and was given time off work. And to make matters worse, I found out that he'd gotten sick because our immigration status had been under threat for a few months and he'd been trying to deal with it. If we lost the case, we'd have to go back to Romania. I felt devastated. I skipped the next few days of school to help Mom take care of Dad. But when I finally returned, I was taking some stuff out of my locker when I heard Brian behind me. "Oh no, you're back?" My eyes were feeling so much better because they weren't hurting every day looking at your hair. I started walking away, but he kept following me. Come on, what's the big secret? Where were you? Growing tomatoes? Making ketchup? If you must know, Dad has been working too hard lately, and he fell sick, so I was taking care of him. Oh, I feel so sorry for your dad. Sorry that he has such a dumb, ugly daughter, and he brought her all the way from Romania and worked so hard just so she can have a good life. You made him sick, Ketchup Head. You make me sick too, actually. He'd really stepped on a nerve, and I snapped. I turned around and gave him a hard slap. You're just a spoiled, ungrateful brat who's been given everything in this world, and you just want to waste it and make others miserable. To think I ever felt sorry for you. I hate you. And don't worry, soon enough you won't ever see me again. I stormed off, and this time he didn't follow me. A few days later, we went to court to fight our immigration case, but to our dismay, the judge ruled against us. Just then, a well-dressed man came running into the courtroom. Your Honor, I'd like to submit an appeal in this family's case. They deserve to stay here. We just stared at the stranger, and he started firing some legal mumbo-jumbo and handed papers to the judge, and to our shock, the judge actually changed his decision, and we won the case. We didn't have to leave. As we hugged each other, we turned to the man and thanked him over and over again. But sir, if I may ask, who are you? I'm your friend Brian's private family lawyer. The boy has been after me non-stop for the past few days to look into your family's case. Oh my God, Brian? Did he really do that? I headed straight for school after that. I looked everywhere and finally found him sitting alone on the bleachers. He looked stunned to see me as I sat down beside him. Brian, why did you do that? I don't know. Maybe because you tried to help me, even though I've been nothing but a complete jerk to you. And maybe because I've had a crush on you from the start. My face broke into a huge grin. I always knew it. You like Ketchup Head. With that, I pulled him in for a long, steamy kiss. So I have been living in LA for a good long time. I've become a lawyer and mostly deal with people's immigration cases because I want to help others like me. Oh, and I'm married to Brian now, and we have a beautiful daughter, Leah. I'm teaching her both English and Romanian because learning different languages makes you smarter and changes the way you think.